Those of us who have had access in helping shape a national narrative around queer youth homelessness, which I started doing in the mid-90s and late 90s, we also used a narrow lens, a lens that looked at sexual orientation and gender identity. And what I think happened in this process, and we're doing much better now, is that those of us who had access, whose voices were being heard, who were helping shape responses and programs, we focused on one story to put out there, and that was the story of family rejection due to sexual orientation and gender identity. And there are reasons why I think we've done that. I think it's a story that many of us can relate to. And why have we focused and highlighted only that story? Because it's a true one, and it's a painful one, and we need to keep working on it. And we also did it at the expense of the many other reasons that queer youth homelessness exists, because we know that the majority of queer youth who are homeless in this country are youth of color. But I think it's easier for me to say, I'm so sorry that you've been kicked out of your home. It doesn't take much for me to say that. You're beautiful, you're brave, I am here for you, this community is here for you, we're gonna do something about that. It's much harder for me to say, I'm so sorry your father's incarcerated, that your mother is being deported, that the shelters in your town can't accommodate your disability, that your experiences in foster care have been dehumanizing, that your grandma lives in Section 8 housing and can't take you in, and your 5 siblings. And the list goes on and on. It's much harder for me to do that because that requires me looking at how I am complicit in the very systems of oppression that have caused that homelessness. So, and two things, and I'm going to wrap up here, two things that, that focus, what am I trying to say here? That highlighting only that one story, we've also unintentionally reinforced a racist assumption that families of color are more racist and more transphobic than other families. Because that's the logical conclusion, right? If we look at this focus on family rejection only, and we look at who's homeless in this country, that is the logical conclusion. So I'm not interested in demonizing families anymore. I'm interested in figuring out how do we support under-resourced communities in this country and ones that have experienced historical trauma, and do that both and. We need to support all of our youth and not create a hierarchy of who deserves our support, because young people also will know what to say to navigate our systems. If they think we want to hear that that's the only reason why they're homeless, that's what we're going to hear. But we need to tell young people that they can bring their whole selves to our communities.